Would you drop $8,000 on a machine you've never used before? I did, and it completely changed the way I run my business. In this video, I'm going to share why I made the leap to invest in a multi-needle embroidery machine, how I chose the right one for me, and whether it was actually worth the money. I'll walk you through my journey from starting out with a second-hand single-needle embroidery machine to navigating research, overcoming doubts, and finally upgrading to a better setup. If you're an embroiderer or a creative business owner, wondering whether a big purchase like this is really worth it, this video might just be for you. When I started my embroidery journey about 2 years ago, all I had with me was the second-hand single-needle embroidery machine that I bought off eBay for about $1,000. That's all I had, me, a second-hand machine, and a dream. Though I knew back then, deep down, I wanted to upgrade to a better machine one day. At first, I had to figure out how to even work this machine and learn embroidery. It was tough learning a new skill from scratch and learning how to get better. Eventually, I felt confident enough to start embroidering my own designs and selling them. I became comfortable with my machine, mastered the ins and outs of it, but it did have its limitations. Because it was a single needle, I had to change the thread every time there was a color change in the design, so completing orders would take me quite a while. I remember embroidering this design that had 10 color changes, which took me over an hour to finish because of all the color changes and things that sometimes go wrong in between embroidery. That's when I started looking more seriously into multi-needle machines. I wanted one that was beginner friendly and didn't break the bank. I researched different options, different brands, buying it from overseas, getting it delivered to Australia, or purchasing it here in Australia. One of the top options I had at the time was buying the Buy embroidery machine straight from China and having that delivered. It was one of the cheaper options, and Buy seemed to have good reviews with multiple forums for technical support. However, I would have to set the machine up from scratch all by myself, and at the time, it felt intimidating. That's when I found Echidna Sewing. They not only help you find the right type of machine that suited your need, but they also provide ongoing support if you have any questions or any troubles with your machine. You can contact them by phone, email, and they even have a Facebook group. Not only that, once you've chosen a machine, after it gets delivered to Australia, they will then check over the machine and make sure it's calibrated and working properly before sending it to you. I ended up choosing the haloX machine, which is a 10-needle machine. And yes, $8,000 is a lot of money, but I knew it would be an investment for my business. When I first bought my single needle machine, I said to myself that I would work hard so that I would be able to purchase my first multi-needle machine within a year. It had been a year and a half before I ended up purchasing my first multi-needle machine, so a bit late, but better late than never. The best thing about buying through Echidna Sewing is that they also have different payment options for their machines, and I went with their try and buy option. I only had to pay an initial 35% deposit and then pay $99 per week after that until the machine is paid. On top of that, if I don't end up loving it, then I can choose to return the machine. I also knew that I could pay off the machine with money I make from my orders after a couple of months. So far, the machine has been amazing. It has greatly increased my output of embroidery orders and sending them out. There's definitely a learning curve to learning a multi-needle embroidery machine, but the staff at Echidna Sewing have been very helpful anytime I had any questions or ran into any troubles. Looking back, the $8,000 machine wasn't just an upgrade. It was a promise I made to myself that I'd take this seriously, that I'd invest in my dream, and honestly, I'd do it again.